is the best artist? Now, today there are hundreds, if not thousands, of rich people spitting into mics and pretending that they relate to us, but which one of them is the best? And this is a complicated question because everyone has their own taste, their own subjective experiences of music, and that kind of colors a dangerous truth that perhaps the best artist is truly undiscoverable. If everyone has their own understanding of what's good and what's bad in this industry, how could we ever come to a consensus? That's a great question. And we're going to solve this problem by relying on solely my opinion. And you might be thinking, Laura, you're not the ruler of the universe. You don't have say over these inherently subjective truths. And I say to you, are you sure about that? Now, I have this mountain of artists right here who could possibly qualify as the best possible artists. And unfortunately, I don't think most of them make the cut. In this video, we're going to talk about why certain artists sort of fail at being the perfect artist and why I think this person here who we'll get to is the best. Now, let's ask a really important question. Is there even such a thing as the perfect artist? In my perspective, yes. And I'll address some of your concerns right here. Like I said, it doesn't really matter that music is subjective because my opinion is objective. But secondly, most artists have their weak spots. I mean, even the most critically acclaimed artists tend to have flop projects and strange collaborations or a lacking skill set. An artist can be really good at songwriting while being terrible at singing. An artist can be really good at dancing but not know how to bring that magic into the songs themselves. And that can be a problem because it makes it hard to find the truly perfect artists. But believe me when I say that there is one. There is one who does everything right. And it's probably something you didn't expect. Now, what is my criteria for determining the perfect artist? The best artist has to consistently put out great work. Not good work, not acceptable work, but, work that is good from front to back. And it helps when an artist has like a huge catalog, but because then you can examine the consistency of their work. But that's not necessarily important. Sometimes an artist will come and release one project and it's fantastic and then leave, like Phoebe Bridgers, for example, or Lauryn Hill. And the artist has to be beloved by both critics and fans. Most artists these days have a fan base, and those fans will ride for that artist like a cock. And they don't get to determine the best artist. There are hundreds of artists who really love Kid Leroy, and that doesn't mean that his art is transcendental. And likewise, critics can't override the criterion because critics themselves have their own biases. And, critics make up a very small minority of music listeners, so I'm not just going to rely on them either. And the perfect artist also has to avoid fading into irrelevance. This is a really hard one because most artists have a peak and slowly fall off. And I think that this is an important category because just because you're critically acclaimed or good at your work doesn't mean you're the best artist. The best artist has to be recognizable. The best artist has to be something that has really moved culture consistently and over time. So, that really narrows down the pool, in my opinion. They have to avoid releasing a flop album. So Taylor Swift off the list because Life of a Showgirl is some shit. And that also helps, this criteria because I can just look at an artist and go, nope, you don't make it if I don't like one album. Being problematic is important too. Not that having problematic opinions necessarily negates the value of your art, but it makes it really difficult to stomach you. If you're a terrible person, I don't really feel comfortable placing you at number one. And, there's so many different places we could pull from. But let me tell you, any artist that you're thinking of does not qualify. I know, plot twist, right? It's not someone you can easily guess. And I think it's time that I reveal who I think the best artist of all time and of the world is. It's me. I am the clearest answer. I am the best artist. I make the best music. You should go listen to my first two singles, Embarrassed and Funky City. They're very good. And, here's a little bit of reasoning as to why I'm so good. Consistently great work. 2 perfect singles, beloved by critics and fans alike in the future, not now, but in the future. And I will never fade into irrelevance because I am permanently a fixture of culture, even when nobody knows about me. And that's why you love me. That's why I love me too. So there we go. Go listen to my music. Go promote it. I'm better than all your faves, and I'm better than my faves, and I am my fave. So yeah.